Hey guys, McTiernan here. I'm here for the film introduction, and the film I picked is Die Hard, released in 1988 and directed by John McTiernan. It really changed the action films in the end of the 80s. Take it to a more grounded and more realistic, approach of the genre. Because it was dominated by the big tanks like Stallone for Schwarzenegger, thanks to Rambo the Terminator. But Die Hard would bring a sort of more realistic take when it comes of the action hero prototype. Of course, I'm not going to talk this film is a Christmas film. It's up to you. We're a few months away from Christmas. But if it's a Christmas film for you, I will just leave it. Just leave it. I'm not here to talk about it. I'm here to talk about one of the greatest action films of all time, and my personal favorite action film, and of course a great masterclass of acting and storytelling and tension and excitement. Die Hard, is a quite unique action film. It still is, because John McTiernan was coming off hot from Predator 1987. He really was the perfect director for this film. Of course, it's an action film, but of course he wanted to make it fun and exciting, but of course more human, more relatable. And of course, many actors were considered for it, but the role led on in Bruce Willis. And at the time, he was famous only for moonlighting, and he made a romantic comedy with, I think, his Blind Date with Kim Basinger. Didn't do well. But of course, the idea of Bruce Willis of an action film at the time was funny, actually, and didn't land very well. Like, come on, Bruce Willis, an action movie? Come on, what a joke. But I gotta say, I cannot imagine Bruce Willis. I cannot imagine this film without Bruce Willis, because he's perfect for John McClane. So John McClane, he's not your typical action hero. He's not a human tag like Schwarzenegger and Stallone. He's just a normal guy. Gets scared, gets hurt. He fears for his own life, and of course he cares a lot about his strange wife. And of course he doesn't like being a hero. He hates that idea, but in the right location, he has to be the hero. That's what makes John McClane so appealing for audiences. That's what made Die Hard work so well in 1988. The film, of course, was a huge hit, and in July 1988, crossed more than $140 million worldwide, and really changed action films forever. And of course, we would become sort of a template for the action films, of course, that came after. Of course, it inspired Under Siege, Passenger 57, Speed, Air Force One. About the wrong guy in the wrong place at the wrong time kind of approach. But Die Hard, of course, still has the magic. It still holds up since 1988. And I can't forget, of course, Alan Rickman, as Hans Gruber, one of the greatest movie villains of all time. And of course, he just is as charismatic as Willis. But the coolest thing about, Alan plays a villain who doesn't act like a villain, and Willis plays the hero who doesn't exactly act like a hero. And that's quite interesting about Die Hard. You can cheer either for the main character or for the bad guy, which is really sort of cool. And I love the idea of being all confined, because the action set just in the Nakatomi Plaza, and that's where of course it's very contained, very claustrophobic. That's what makes the suspense, the tension works so well, and John McTiernan proved that on Predator, and you really you go like this, you're also in the edge of your seat, just rooting for John McClane, and all happens in Christmas Eve. And I think McClane, after that experience, would love to have a nice Christmas at home. The film, of course, started the franchise, spawning for sequels. But they are fun, but not as good as the original. So Die Hard is, to me, alongside First Blood, is really made the action scene what it is today, and it remains unbeatable. So this is a film introduction on Die Hard. Hope you liked it. I know it's not Christmas yet, but to me, one of the greatest action films of all time. I'm not going to discuss that with you, but it's up to you. Just I hope you enjoyed this video. Just watch a lot of good films and lots of action.